the family iPad started ring and showed at me was she really load. My name is Hassan. I am 33 years old, and I did not find out my wife was cheating by spying on her, or following her car, or digging through her purse. I found out because our 6-year-old daughter picked up the family iPad and the screen lit up with a FaceTime call from a man saved in my wife's account as Jay. I watched my little girl almost press accept on the call that would have shown her mother's secret life. That was the moment something inside me finally broke and refused to be quiet anymore. Before all this, we were a normal family. At least, that's what I told myself. iWorchins is an IT support for a small company in the city. Nothing glamorous. Broken laptops. Forgotten passwords. Old printers that sound like they're screaming for mercy. My wife, Leela, works at a gym. She started at the front desk. Check-ins. Membership cards. Towels. Later, she did some training courses, became a part-time instructor. Zumba. Spin. Pilates. Our daughter, Amina, is 6. Curly hair, gap in her front teeth. Laugh that makes strangers smile. We live in a small house on a quiet street. Nothing fancy. One of those places you drive past without thinking twice. On weekends, we did what normal families do. Grocery runs, cartoons in the morning, laundry, a walk in the park if the weather behaved. We had the family devices set up. One big TV, one family iPad. The iPad was mostly for Amina. YouTube Kids, drawing apps. Educational games we pretended she loves more than cartoons. Sometimes Leela used it too. Netflix in bed, recipes in the kitchen, checking emails. We were both signed into the same Apple account for convenience. Shared photos, shared apps, Find My. It felt like trust, like we had nothing to hide from each other. I felt that was a good sign. I didn't realize how easy it is to hide something in plain sight if the other person is trying very hard to be chill. The first time I heard the name Jay, it sounded harmless. Leela came home from work one evening, threw her bag on the chair, and said, I swear, if one more guy comes in and says, I'll join next month, I'm going to scream. I laughed. Slow day? I asked. Busy, she said. But no one commits. Then she brightened. Except Jay, she added. He's new. One of the trainers. Actually takes his job seriously. Knows what he's doing, which is rare in that place. I nodded. Good, I said. At least someone there isn't just posting selfies in the mirror. She smiled. Exactly, she said. He's been helping me with some of my routines too. Says I have potential to teach more classes if I want. I like that. I wanted her to feel supported, confident. She'd had Amina young. Sometimes she's still worried about her body, her career, her what ifs. If another trainer was encouraging her, that sounded good, at least at the beginning. Over the next few weeks, his name started showing up more. Jay said this. Jay showed me that stretch. Jay said my form is improving. I teased her once. Should I be jealous of this Jay guy? I asked, smiling. She rolled her eyes. Don't be stupid, she said. He's just a gym nerd. Talks more about protein than actual people. We both laughed. If you had told me then that this gym nerd would one day be the reason my daughter asked, Baba, why is Mama crying? I would not have believed you. The changes didn't come overnight. They crept in like fog. Soft, easy to ignore at first. Leela started taking more classes. That's great, I said when she told me she was adding 2 extra evenings. More money, she smiled. Maybe we can finally fix the bathroom. I grinned. So, Tuesday and Thursday evenings were late class nights. She'd leave just before 6, kiss Amina on the head, kiss me on the cheek, and say, put her to bed. Don't just let her watch YouTube, okay? I'd say, I'll try. We both laugh. She'd come home around 10, sometimes tired, sometimes buzzing with energy. Class was great, she'd say, dropping her bag. Jay and I stayed back and worked on some routines. I started noticing other little things. Her phone habits changed. It used to lie on the kitchen counter, screen up. Now, it was always face down, always close. Notifications turned off on the lock screen. If it buzzed, she'd pick it up before the second vibration, tilt it away, type quickly, then put it back without saying anything. I told myself she works in a gym. Weird guy's message. She's just protecting herself. Her conversations got shorter, not arguments, just less. I'd ask, how was your day? She'd say, busy. thin scroll. If I asked more, she'd sigh. Can we not talk about work all the time, Hassan? She'd say. It's exhausting. So I'd back off. I'd play with Amina, do the dishes, watch something, tell myself this is what adult life is. Tired people in the same house trying their best. And every time a small voice in my head whispered, something feels off, a louder voice would say, don't be paranoid. You don't want to be that husband. The one who reads into everything, the one who makes drama out of nothing. I didn't know there was already plenty of drama happening behind my back. Then the Sundays started. It happened slowly. One week, she said, I'm going to try a new yoga workshop on Sunday morning. It's supposed to help with lower back pain. Okay, I said. I'll hang out with Amina. She came back around lunchtime, relaxed, loose, said it was amazing. 2 weeks later, she said, there's another workshop. Same place. I think it's helping. I nodded. Go, I said. You deserve it? I meant it. I wanted her to feel good in her own skin. Soon, it wasn't just mornings. Some Sundays, she'd be gone most of the day. Double sessions, she'd say. Mobility first, then strength. It's a whole program. One Sunday evening, she came back around 7, wearing clothes I had never seen before. New leggings, new top, new trainers, all matching, all flattering. She smelled like expensive shower gel from a fancy bathroom, not the slightly musty changing room she used to complain about. I hugged her. You look good, I said. She smiled. Do I? She asked, a little too eager. Yeah, I said. You always do. She kissed me quickly, like a habit, then went upstairs. When I grabbed her gym bag to move it, a hotel-branded towel fell out. I picked it up. White, soft logo embroidered in gold. Not from any gym I knew. My chest tightened. I put it back. Didn't say anything. That night, lying in bed next to her, I stared at the ceiling and told myself, lots of gyms have towel service now. Don't jump to conclusions. We fall in love with our explanations long before we see the evidence. The night everything changed was a Wednesday. Nothing special. I was in the kitchen making Amina a snack. Leela was at the gym covering an evening class. Amina sat at the table, legs swinging, drawing. Baba, she said, can I use the iPad? 10 minutes, I replied. Then homework. She groaned. Fine, she muttered, in the exact way her mother did when I mentioned budgets. I wiped my hands, grabbed the iPad from the counter, pressed the home button. It lit up to the lock screen. Same wallpaper we'd had for months. A picture of the three of us on the sofa, squashed together, half laughing, half complaining that the timer was too fast. I unlocked it. Handed it to Amina. Only the drawing app, okay? I said. She nodded seriously. Yes, Baba, she said. I'm an artist. She settled in. I turned back to the stove. 2 minutes later, a loud, bubbly ringtone echoed through the kitchen. The iPad screen lit up bright and green. Incoming FaceTime call. I turned around. On the screen, there was a small circle showing Amina's surprised face and a big screen with a name at the top. JY. JY. Under it, the words FaceTime Audio Mobile. In 3 buttons. Remind me. Message. End. And the big green one. Accept. Amina reached out to press it because kids press the biggest button. I moved faster than I thought I could. Wait, I said, stepping forward and putting my hand over hers. Her eyes widened. Did I do something wrong? She asked. I forced a smile. No, no, I said. You did great. Baba just needs to answer this one, okay? I slid the iPad out of her hands. The call stopped ringing. Call failed flashed quickly, then vanished. My heart was beating in my throat. I knew who Jay was supposed to be. A trainer, a colleague, a name I had heard with and without eye rolls, but seeing his name saved like that flexing arm emoji, chat bubble, ringing on the shared family iPad at 8:30 in the evening, while my wife was supposedly in the middle of teaching a class, something snapped. Baba? Amina said softly. Can I still draw? I blinked. Yes. Habibti, I said. Use my laptop instead, okay? The one on the table. She bounced off her chair, excited. I handed her the laptop. Then I walked into the living room with the iPad. My hands were shaking. I sat on the sofa, stared at the screen. My thumb hovered over the Messages app. For a moment, I thought, don't do it. If you look, you can't unsee. Then I pictured the big green button, Amina's little finger about to press it, the possibility of my daughter accidentally answering a call meant for my wife's secret life. My jaw tightened. I tapped Messages. A list of conversations appeared, some familiar. My name, her sister, her mother. Some members I didn't recognize, and there, near the top, a thread with a contact labeled JPT. But I also knew I could not keep living on guesses. I clicked. The thread opened. Within seconds, my world tilted. It started normal. Hey, can you cover my 7 p.m.? Sure, no problem. Then it changed. Flirty messages. Inside jokes. From him, client canceled, want to grab a shake. From her, only if you're paying and not flirting with the girl at the desk. From him, you're the only one I flirt with. Shh, from her, shut up. Shh. Then slowly it escalated. I can see you from the treadmill. Those leggings should be illegal. Stop, your boss is behind you. Can't stop looking at you today. I'm a sweaty mess. That's the point. Images. Nothing too explicit at first. A mirror selfie of her in her workout clothes. Then a photo from above. Her in bed, covers pulled up, face half hidden. Caption. Dead. Class. Killed me. His reply. I'd help you relax if I was there. Her. Good night, trouble. I scrolled. Dates stretched back months. Sunday morning. On my way to the yoga workshop. Sue reply, room's ready. Same hotel, same floor. Text when you're in the lift. My stomach dropped. The yoga workshop, the hotel towel, the double session. It was all there in texts, casual like booking a hair appointment. I scrolled faster. More messages. More weekends. Then, a message from the day she had asked for her space weekend. From her, told him I'm going away alone to clear my head. You better make this worth it. From him, 3 days. No interruptions. I booked the spa you like. Can't wait to have you properly. From her, you're bad for me. From him, maybe. But you love it. I felt physically sick. Finally, I reached Messages from that very day. The day the iPad rang. From him, finished early. Miss you. Calling in 10. From her, can't. At home. He's here. Call later. From him, on the iPad then, little test. The call that had just come through. The call my daughter almost answered. Little test. I sat there, staring at the screen, while the sound of Amina humming in the kitchen floated through from the other room. For the first time in months, I was not overthinking. I was finally seeing. I checked the time. 9:15. Her class ended at 8. She usually came home by half past. I stared at the iPad, at the messages, at my own reflection in the glass. I didn't cry. Not yet. There's a strange, sharp focus that comes when denial finally dies. I took photos of the screen with my phone. Not to post. Not for revenge. For myself. Because I knew that later, when she called me paranoid, I would need something to hold on to. Something to remind me I wasn't crazy. I locked the iPad, put it on the sideboard, went back to the kitchen. Baba, look, Amina said, holding up the laptop. She had drawn 3 stick figures holding hands. One tall one with a beard, one with long hair, one small one in the middle with a big smile. That's us, she said proudly. I forced a smile. It's beautiful, I said. 10 minutes later, I heard the sound I had been waiting for, the key in the front door, the clink, the soft thud as it opened. Leela's footsteps. The bag dropped in the hallway. Salam, she called. I'm back. I took a breath that felt like swallowing glass. Kitchen, I said. My voice had that tight edge I barely recognized. She walked in. Ponytail, sweatshirt, gym leggings. Smelled like cheap body spray and something else. Her eyes did a quick scan of the room. At me. At Amina. At the iPad on the side. Hey, you're still up, she said to Amina. Bed, missy. 5 more minutes? Amina begged. 2, Layla said. Then Baba put you to bed. I watched her. Every movement. Every glance. You okay? She asked, turning back to me. You look weird. I picked up the iPad, unlocked it, opened the messages, tapped the thread. Her face changed before she even saw the words. Because she recognized the contact name. Because she saw the blue and gray bubbles. Because she saw my eyes. Hassan, she started. I held up a hand. Go upstairs, Amina, I said softly. She pouted. But, now, I said, more sharply than I meant. She flinched. Leela frowned. Don't snap at her, she said automatically. I turned to Amina. I'm sorry, I said. Baba just needs to talk to Mama. I'll come tuck you in a minute, okay? She nodded slowly. Okay, she whispered, and slid off the chair. Her small footsteps echoed down the hallway and up the stairs. We waited until her door clicked shut. Then I turned the iPad towards Layla. The screen glowed between us. Her own words stared back at her. Leela's eyes skimmed the screen. The messages, the emojis, the hotel room text. Her face went completely blank. Fight or flight in real time. After a moment, she looked up. How long? I asked quietly. She swallowed. Hassan, it's not. How? Long. Silence. Her shoulders slumped. A few months, she said. On and off. A few, I repeated. I didn't mean for it to happen, she rushed on. It just, don't, I said sharply. Don't say it just happened. You had to save his number. You had to answer his texts. You had to book hotel rooms. You had to tell me you were at yoga while you were in his bed. She flinched at the word bed. Tears filled her eyes. I was lonely, she whispered. You're always tired, always working, always with your computer. We stopped talking. We stopped connecting. He listened. There it was. The script I'd heard in 100 stories from other people. Now in my own kitchen. So this is my fault, I said. I didn't say that, she replied quickly. You didn't have to, I said. You just did. She wiped her face. It's not just about you, she said. It's me too. I changed. I felt invisible. At home, I'm just mama, and can you do the dishes and what's for dinner? With him, I felt wanted, like I was still a woman. My chest burned. You are a woman, I said. You're my wife. You're Amina's mother. None of that gives you a free pass to blow up our life because you're bored. She shook her head. It wasn't just boredom, she whispered. I fell for him. The words hit harder than any punch. You fell for him, I repeated slowly. Yes, she said, voice breaking. But I love you too. It's messed up, I know. I know. I let out a bitter laugh. You love him, I said. But you came home to me. You slept in my bed. You let our daughter draw pictures of us while you were texting him from the bathroom. She covered her face. I'm a terrible person, she sobbed. I know I am. I hate myself. I thought I could handle it. That it was just a phase, that it would stop. Did it? I asked. She opened her mouth. Closed it. No, she whispered. I nodded. At least that's honest, I said. Upstairs, I could hear Mina singing to her toys. Off-key. Happy. The sound stabbed through me. You brought this man into our daughter's weekends, I said quietly, into the time you told me you needed to find yourself. I didn't let him meet her, she said quickly. I'm not a monster. I stared at her. You let him call the family iPad, I said. You let him dial into this house, into this kitchen, while she was sitting right here. Her face crumpled. I told him not to do that, she said. He thinks it's funny. He thinks you're too slow to ever notice. My jaw tightened. Does he? I said. Yes, she whispered. He says you're safe, boring, predictable, that he doesn't feel threatened. For a moment, everything went red around the edges. I had to put my hands flat on the table to steady myself. So, the man sleeping with my wife? I said slowly. Feels safe because he decided I won't make trouble. She nodded miserably. I never said that, she added quickly. I always told him you're a good man, that you don't deserve this. What a comforting compliment, I said dryly. While you were in his room, she sobbed. I know, she said. I know, she said. I know. I wish I could take it back. I thought of Amina's drawing. Three stick figures holding hands. Our little family. No J. No emojis. No hotel rooms. And what about her? I asked, tilting my head towards the ceiling. What story were you planning to give our daughter when this got out? Because it always gets out, Layla. Kids hear things. They see you cry. They see someone leave with a suitcase. What were you going to say? Mama needed to feel wanted? She shook her head desperately. I never thought that far, she whispered. I was just caught up. When I was with him, everything else disappeared. Everything else, I repeated. Like your husband, your child, your vows. She nodded, tears streaming. I'm so sorry, she said again. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I am. I believe that. I believe she was sorry. I just also knew that being sorry doesn't erase what you chose while you were not. For a while, we just sat there, her crying, me staring at the wooden grain of the table. I thought about the years, the early mornings, the late night rush to make it all work, the times I'd said no to nights out so we could save, the times I'd told friends, no, I can't. I want to be home. I like being with my family. The time she had shown me pictures from the gym and I had said, you look amazing, without knowing those photos were really for someone else. Finally, she spoke. Can we fix this? She whispered. I looked up. How? I asked. Counseling, she said. I'll block him. I'll quit the gym. I'll never talk to him again. We can move. We can start over. I'll give you all my passwords. You can check anything. Please, I'll do anything. I listened. I believe she meant it in that moment. Fear is a powerful motivator, but I also pictured a future where every time her phone buzzed, a part of me died a little, where every late night at work became an argument, where every yoga workshop became a flashback. I know people who chose that, I thought. Who stayed? Who spent years rebuilding? It's not impossible. But I knew myself. I knew what kind of man I am when I do not trust the person on the other pillow. I become a detective, a guard, not a husband, not a father. I can forgive you, I said slowly, because I don't want to carry this like a stone for the next 50 years. She sniffed. Okay, she said. So we can, but I can't stay, I said. Her face crumpled. What? I can't stay, I repeated. I can't unsee what I saw. I can't unknow what I know. I can't raise our daughter in a house where every room reminds me of a story I wasn't really in. She shook her head. You're making a huge mistake, she cried. We have a family. You can't just walk away. I stood. My legs felt like they belonged to someone else. The mistake, I said quietly, happened in room 314, at whatever hotel you booked yoga in. This is me refusing to live a lie. She reached for me. I stepped back. For once, I said, I'm going to listen to the version of me you both joked about, the one who is too trusting and too boring to ever cause trouble. I picked up the iPad, locked it, put it back on the counter. I'll sleep in the living room tonight, I said. In the morning, we'll talk about logistics, about Amina, about money. But I am not your husband anymore, not the way I was yesterday. Then I walked out. This time, I didn't look back. People assume the worst day is the day you find out. Sometimes it's the days after, the day you sit your child down and say, Mama and Baba are going to live in different houses for a while. And she asks, did I do something wrong? And your heart rips open. The day you pack a bag and every object has a memory attached to it. The day you sleep on someone else's sofa, staring at a ceiling that isn't yours, and realize you have truly left. We worked out an arrangement, shared custody, schedules, drop-offs, pickups. Leela kept the house at first. I didn't argue. I didn't want the kitchen table, the bedroom, the bathroom where she texted him while I watched TV with our daughter. I moved into a small flat closer to work, fewer rooms, less history. I bought my own cheap table, my own cheap plates, started again. I went to therapy. Not because I was broken, but because I needed someone who wasn't in my life to say, you are not crazy for leaving. Because people will say that. Couldn't you have tried harder? Did you really have to split up the family? Men have done worse and their wives stayed. Maybe. But I'm not those men. She's not those wives. And this is my life, not a case study. My therapist said something I still hold on to. Trust, she said, is not just about believing they won't cheat. It's about believing they won't let you feel crazy for noticing when something is wrong. Layla hadn't just slept with someone else. She had let me walk around feeling like I was too sensitive whenever my instincts got close to the truth. That, somehow, hurt almost as much as the affair. If you've listened all the way here, maybe you felt something twist in your chest. Maybe you recognize pieces of this. Not the iPad, not the trainer, but the pattern. The phone that suddenly never leaves their hand. The jokes about the harmless colleague who becomes a daily name. The self-care days that somehow never include you. The hotel towel in the wrong bag. The feeling that you live with a stranger who still wears your ring. Maybe has been told, you're overreacting, you're obsessed, you're insecure. Every time you ask a simple question, maybe you've stopped asking because you don't want another argument, because you'd rather live with doubt than be called crazy one more time. Listen, I am not here to tell you to leave. I don't know your life, your history, your kids, your finances. What I'm here to say is this. Your feelings are not insane just because someone doesn't want to answer them. Your need for honesty is not too much just because it makes their secrets inconvenient. You are allowed to notice when the story doesn't match the details. You are allowed to say something is wrong, even if they sigh and roll their eyes. And if one day, like me, you find yourself staring at a screen with proof you never wanted, please remember, the shame does not belong to you. You did not create the messages. You did not book the rooms. You did not save the contact with the little hearts and flexing arms. You did one thing. You trusted. On purpose. That is not stupid. That is what love is supposed to be able to survive. If someone takes that trust and uses it like a cloak to hide another life beneath, that's on them, not you. My name is Hassan. The family iPad started ringing and showed me who my wife really loved. For a while, I thought that moment destroyed me. Now I see it differently. It saved me from spending the next 10 years telling myself a nice story while my real life was happening somewhere else. If you're there now, sitting in a quiet room, holding a phone or a tablet or just your own gut feeling, and you're asking, am I crazy or is something wrong? I can't answer that for you, but I can tell you this. The truth doesn't need you to ignore yourself to survive. Lies do. Choose the version of you that believes what you see, what you hear, what you feel, even if it means walking away with shaking hands and a breaking heart. Because sometimes leaving with your self-respect is the only way not to lose yourself.